Hi guys, Mr. Worth is here, and I'm going to show you a few things about getting started with Adobe Photoshop. Now, the version of Photoshop that I have is a bit old. It's Adobe Photoshop CS5, which I think came out in like 2010. But any version of Photoshop, the way that I'm explaining to you is probably going to work. So I wouldn't really worry if you have a different version. So let's get started. First thing, getting Photoshop going, you want to click on Start and type in Photo on your computer, and if you see both of these, just pick one. It'll start up Photoshop and you'll come to a screen just like this. Now when you get here, you want to make a canvas. So I'm just going to make a canvas that's the entire size of a paper. So go to New, and you can give it a name. So you can call it Mr. Worth Photo, and you want to change pixels to inches, and I'm going to have mine be 11 by 8.5, which is the size of an entire piece of paper. Okay, so I know that whatever I want to work on has to be at least inside of this white piece of paper that's about to come up. Alright, so Photoshop's pretty cool, and right here is your toolbar on the left hand side, and this is all the different tools that you can use to paint and cut things up and create. And over here are kind of all of your additional presets and stuff. So here's like your colors. You can do masks and adjustments, like changing the brightness and all that stuff. And down here is the layers. And what I really want to go over right now is how cool it is that Photoshop has layers, because it's really powerful. So first thing I'm going to grab is the brush tool. And brush tools, very basic. You can kind of paint. Pick a color and start painting along on here. And you can just grab a color and I can start painting. Alright, now this is very basic, and this is be helpful for you with little parts of your projects, but what you really might want is the ability to paint different things. So I'm going to go back in time there. And you can grab different brush heads. So if you click right on this 13, you can grab like a fan type brush head. Click on that. Or one of my personal favorites is grass. Alright. Now, right now we're working on the background layer. But what I want to do is go down here and click on New Layer. And I'm going to call this layer Grass. Hit enter, and I want my grass to be green. Green grass is good, and I'm going to make my grass a little bit smaller and bring it down to that. Alright, and you can just kind of hold and move it. Now notice it's green and black. It's because my background color is black. So if you want it to be white or maybe a different shade of green, that'll make your grass look maybe a little more realistic. Alright, so I'm going to fill this all in. Have a nice little grassy area here. Now I want to show off layers. So essentially what you do is really fill this in so this looks all grassy and light. Now to show off layers, I have my grass layer, and I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to just call this sky. And another tool I want to show you is the gradient tool. So right here is the gradient tool. And you can see you have different options for how you want your gradient to look. And if you click on this right here, you can kind of see a little more how it's going to come out. So some of these are kind of weird, but I like this one. But I want to change the colors that I have. So I'm going to grab some more like blues. I'll grab like a blue. And then, so right now you can see it's going to go like blue to green. I'm going to grab my background color, make that another, maybe a darker blue. And now making sure that I'm still on my sky layer, I'm just going to drag my gradient, and it's going to make a nice easy gradient from light blue to that dark blue. So that's a good sky. Now this is my one whole sky layer, and to show off why layers are so cool is if I just drag this down and put the grass on top of the sky layer, you can see now I'm kind of building my my collage together now. I have different elements on top of each other, and because if you notice my grass has this little checkerboard behind it, that means it's transparent, so you can see whatever's on the layer behind it, and every new layer has kind of that transparency effect. So when I have the sky layer that's all just a solid layer of color, that's going to show through when I bring the grass up. Okay. Now if you see my background right here, my background is white and the grass is on top of it, so that's why the white is showing through. Okay. So if I just change my background and I change this to like, maybe I'll change my colors to like a red gradient or something. See, that's going to show through because that's below my grass layer. Okay, so that's kind of a quick introduction of layers and paintbrushes and the gradient tool.